Hey guys, so for today's video I decided to do a full face video because you guys have been requesting it and I obviously don't do them like ever. So yeah, if you're only here for the eye makeup, which I know a lot of you are, I will have down below exactly when this eye look starts. So I'm starting out with absolutely nothing on my skin except moisturizer, but since I am using a matte foundation and my skin is very dry right now, I'm taking the Jouer Daily Repair Treatment Oil and just applying that all over the skin, and then going in with the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. And then I'm taking the Tarte Color Correcting Palette and the orange shade and correcting those dark circles. And then for my foundation, I'm taking the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. I am in the shade 228 at the moment. I know this looks extremely dark. My face, I mentioned before, is very, very pink compared to the rest of my body. And also, my self-tanner has faded on my face, as you can tell, but it matches my body, just like every other YouTuber says. So now I'm going in with this Cinema Secrets foundation palette. It's very, very high coverage foundation, but I'm actually using it as a spot concealer. And then I'm taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium to conceal my under eyes. And I'm going to blend it out with the Tarte Quickie Sponge. I love this sponge. I know that there's been like a lot of mixed reviews. I use it dry and I have not used my beauty blender since. And then to set everything, I'm taking my Holy Grail powder, which is the Makeup Forever HD powder. I'm setting the under eyes and around the nostril area with a small brush, and then I'm going in with this amazing brush from Sephora and setting the entire face. I will have all of the brushes and everything listed below. And now I'm taking the Ciate bronzer in Star Island with a Morphe, I think this is the M527. Yes, and just bronzing up the skin. And then I wanted something a little bit warmer, so I took a tiny bit of MAC Give Me Sun and I just went over everything. And to highlight, I'm taking my extremely old, I should probably throw it in the trash, MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light Plus, and I'm just highlighting the typical highlighting areas. I prefer to do this with this powder than using a bunch of concealer because, again, my skin is really dry. It can get cakey very easily, and you'll see later on once I get up close, it's not cakey. So now I'm taking the new Tarte Pro Glow palette by Tarte in the shade Sculpt, and I'm just contouring my face. And then I'm taking my new obsession. This is the best blush in the entire world. It is the Marc Jacobs Flesh and Fantasy Blush. It is amazing. And to highlight, I'm taking the shade Lit from that same Tarte palette with my favorite highlighting brush. This is the Sigma F03, and I'm just packing on the highlight. I've been kind of toning it down, but I felt like going ham today. And then I'm taking the shade Strobe, which is much lighter, and putting it on top just to intensify it a little bit more. So now onto the eyes. I'm starting out with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot as usual, and then I'm using the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Edition eyeshadow palette. Don't really have an opinion on this yet. It's not bad, it's good, but I don't know if it's worth the price. But I'm taking the shade Bay and setting that primer, and then with the shade Sandalwood and a Sigma E40 brush, I'm just buffing it into the crease. Like, as you can see with this color, like, it's kind of difficult to blend. It takes a little bit more time. Like, I just feel like for the price, it could be a little bit better, but it's not bad. It is pretty, but it's expensive. And I'm also going to run this shade on the lower lash line with that same brush. This look is going to be very, very blown out, so I'm taking the shades down really far. So now I'm taking the shade Henna, which is probably my favorite shade from this entire palette, with a Sigma E25, I believe. And I'm putting this on the outer corner of the eye, and I'm starting to blend it up into the crease. And I'm also going to drag it onto the lower lash line as well. You want to make sure that the outer corner colors all connect and it's nice and rounded. And then I'm going to go back in with that blending brush and blend everything out. So now I'm taking the shade Bossy. This is a MAC 221, I believe. It's much smaller than the E25. And I'm going to put it basically where we put henna, but it's not going to be as high up into the crease. But once you get the initial shade down, just go back in with the E25 and blend everything out. As always, I like to place the shadow with one brush and then blend it out with a different brush. And then for the lid shade, I'm taking the shade Rose Gold. These specific shades are meant to be applied with the finger, so that is what I'm doing here. And once you apply that, just blend it in with the E25 brush. And then for my lashes, oh wait, nope. Popping the shade Moon Dust on the inner corner. And then for my lashes, I'm taking the Blinking Beauty Lashes in Samantha. And I didn't realize I wasn't recording, but I put the eyeliner I used in my waterline and also the lip products I used down in the description bar, as well as everything else. So yeah, that is a completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!